Hi, it's Rowan from Physiofit. Today I've put together a program of exercises to build strength and control around your knees. It should help for most knee conditions and I hope it works for you. Come and join me on the mat and we'll get started. Okay, so to build strength and control around your knees, you need to have really good strength and control around the hip joints as well. So the muscles of your buttock muscles and outer hips, the gluteal complex, need to be really strong and healthy and fit to give you good control around the knee when you're standing and moving. So the first exercise I'm going to teach you is an exercise called Clamshell. Bring your top hand to the floor, let your bottom hand slide away underneath you and bring a head cushion or a towel in between your head and your arm. Tuck your shoulder blade underneath. My palm here is turned up to make that feel more comfortable. Gather up your lower ribs so that your waist muscles are working as well, and keep the knees stacked one on top of each other. Hip and pelvis are all facing forwards. Now, keeping your heels up tight and connected, I want you to press your bottom leg down into the floor and allow your top leg to rotate so that your kneecap points up and towards the ceiling. And then allow that leg to rotate back into place. The key here is that as that top leg is pushing up and around, the pelvis stays facing forwards, and then roll your hip back into place again. Press the bottom leg down, let the top leg rotate without any rotation back of your pelvis, and roll back into place. We're going to do two more. Pressing through and folding back, and one more. Pressing through and folding back. Good. Repeat 5 times on each side. Now turn onto your back. We're going to go through an exercise called shoulder bridge. Let your arms just slide long down by the sides of your body so that your neck is nice and long. You can support it on a towel or a small cushion if you want to. First of all, think about the pelvis just turning towards you and flattening your lower back down to the floor. You're lifting up the back of the pelvis there. Now reach away through both knees, really looking to open the front of the hips here, but stay heavy into the rib cage. Almost at the top of the movement, you want to think of pushing down with your feet into the floor to really get that sense of push and open, really connecting into the back of the hips here and the really sort of opening the back of the hips, and then trickle back down again through your rib cage into your lower back and letting the pelvis trickle through and drop to the bottom. And repeat that again, rolling the tailbone up and underneath so your lower back flattens, then reaching away through both knees so that you can stand into your feet, keeping the rib cage heavy, looking to open the front of the hips, squeeze the buttock muscles to hold you in position, and roll back down again. When that exercise starts to get a little easier, you can do that on a single leg. So that's with one leg just hovering and lifting. You're pressing through and reaching away, keeping your pelvis nice and level, and then rolling back on down to the floor again. And tailbone release. Step your foot in, step into the opposite leg. Really step a good pace and pressure through that foot. Roll the pelvis up and underneath, keeping the pelvis level and steady, and then roll back down again to the floor and bring your leg on and in. So start with both legs when you first get going with this program, maybe 5 repetitions, 5 to 8 repetitions, and when you're ready you can start traveling to a single leg bridge, which you'd repeat 5 repetitions on each side. Okay, we're going to start with some simple squats, which will warm up around your knees, ankles and hips a little bit and start to activate the muscles that we're going to use for subsequent exercises to build some strength and control around your knee joints. So with a squat, I'm going to start just with a small sense that the back of the pelvis is opening, the hips are dropping behind your heels, your knees are coming to a small diagonal and you can hinge a little bit into the hips there. Going to press through, really pressing down through the heels to rise. Again, let the back of the pelvis feel like it's opening to allow you to kind of find the deep crease of the hip joint and then press through to rise. So a small hinge through the hips, keeping the abdominals gently working throughout and press to rise. We're going to do 2 more, breathing in and breathing out, and 1 more. And when you hit the top, stay there. Bring your hands to your pelvis, lift up through one heel and leave that heel lifting. And now we're going to do a squat single leg. So dropping into that hip and pressing through. My right leg here is just a little passenger. It's the left leg doing all the work. Right leg is just there for a bit of balance. I'm going to do 3 more on this side. Press tall. 2 more. Press tall and 1 last time. Good. Hold it there. Replace that heel. Lift up the other side and repeat for 5. And press. And 4. And press. Good job. 3. Extend. 2. Good. And 1 more time. When you hit the top, stay there and replace both heels. The next exercise is some simple heel lifts to build some strength and condition in the muscles of your calves, and also a bit of control around the ankle joint, which helps to position where your knee is in space when you're moving and walking. So bring your hands up in front of you. Let the shoulders just sit on the side of your rib cage. Bring your weight into the front of your feet until you feel the weight in the balls of your feet and your tummy muscles have to draw in gently to respond. Press your toes into the floor to send yourself up, and then tap lightly through the heels. And again, press your toes into the floor to rise, and tap to come back down. Press to rise, and tap. 2 more. Press to rise, and tap. And 1 more time. And then rock your weight back. Balance back over the ankle joint and bring your hands through. Okay, from the heel raises, we're going to go into an exercise called foot series to really challenge and coordination between all 3 joints, your ankle joints, your knee joints and your hip joints. So bring your hands up in front of you, shoulders on the side of the rib cage. Let your hips drop behind your heels to a half squat. Weight to the front of your feet, press your toes into the floor so your heels hover. You travel up and lower your heels. Bend your knees. Hover your heels. Press to the top and lower. Going to do 3 more. Hover your heels. Press to the top and lower. 2 to go. Drop. Hover. Press through and lower. Last time. Drop and hover. Press through and lower, and bring your hands all the way back on down again. Good job. Okay, so stepping your feet into parallel, 1 foot in line with the other, about hips width apart. I want you to leave your hands on your pelvis so you can feel each of the bones of your pelvis here facing each other. You're going to take your weight into the front of your feet and press up and onto tiptoes. I'm going to run from 1 foot to the other, sending the knee forward in line with your toe each time, and making sure that your pelvic bones stay level and still, moving symmetrically up and over the top. So you just generate this really nice control around the knee joint as you move up and over the top. Stability at the pelvis, control at the knee and ankle joint. So you get this lovely fluid movement up and over. Going to do 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Good. Double press to the middle to finish, and then lower through both heels and bring your weight back. Rebalance over the ankle joint and pause there. Okay, we're going to finish the sequence with a simple deadlift for coordination and kind of good activation of the hamstring muscles at the back of your thigh. So I want you to take your weight onto one leg. Let that knee be very slightly soft, so it's not fully locked back, not bent, but just split the difference. Take your weight onto that leg and slide your other leg back and behind you. Let that leg get long and rest on the floor as you find your balance, a little bit of hinge into the front of the hip and back of the neck nice and long, shoulders sitting in the back of the body so the elbows are pressing back very gently. Okay, that's your start position, keeping your tummy muscles gently working. Take a breath in And as you breathe out, let your back leg hover and reach and you tip forward. Really keeping a nice support and control through your standing leg. And then lower your leg to travel back up. And again, reach the back leg behind you. Allow your upper body to follow with good control, keeping and noticing your big toe, pressing gently down into the floor to keep that balance. And one more time, lift up through the back leg, allow your upper body to tip forward, following that movement with good control through your support leg. Lovely. And once you've done that, bring your support leg back underneath. I'm going to switch sides and repeat on the other side 3 times. Okay, so that's the program to build strength and control around your knees. I'd recommend that you're working on it about 3 to 5 times a week for the next 8 weeks. If you have any questions at all, you can post them below and I'll get back to you, and it's been a pleasure working with you today.